That's what I like doing.
Yes, you have lots of fun. That's why I was like, oh my God, after that live with your birthday and the whole Moist Matters, Cleo, you had me, what's that saying? Signed, sealed, and delivered. I was just absolutely laughing my ass off over here. I mean, oh, hi, everybody. I knew we were live. Everyone, thank you for joining us. It's another Friday night. Um, we have this week, Allison and I are welcoming Cleo the Seer
Hi.
to our channel. And you may be familiar with Cleo. She reads with Allison, Gerald, and Val when they do their Mystic Four. Usually it's Mondays, but sometimes it
Yeah.
might be a different day during the week. But yeah, so Cleo
And Cleo's on with her sister a lot.
Yeah.
So who's your sister?
Colleen the Cool Crone.
No, Colleen's your sister.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I've had Colleen on a couple times. It's been a while, but I didn't know that she was your sister.
Yeah, she's the one that got me involved in all this. And we started off, I don't know, I couldn't figure out what I was coming on here for.
Speaking of the devil.
She helped me figure it out.
Hey,
Gerald.
Yes, ears must have been burning. Had to jump on. So Cleo doesn't have any content yet, but we have her up to 150 subscribers.
Wow.
And I read your little about blurb, and you said you're working on creating some videos when you get a chance.
Yeah, I am definitely still working on that. But now that I've got this, everything happens for a reason. You know, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get going. And then when this camera thing happened, it was kind of like my spirit guides were saying, good, we wanted a different camera. And I'm like, what? Why? But anyway, yeah, that happened.
And I love your backdrop. That's so pretty.
Oh, yeah, I like that too. It covers up a lot of stuff behind me.
I had mine up the other night and it didn't cover up enough. I'm like, I'm just going to keep it down until I can figure out what's what.
Yeah, screens are great.
So really quick before we get any further, thank you, Stephen, for being the best mod ever.
Hi, Stephen.
Let's see. We have Fatima here, or no, Fatima. Excuse me. We have Fatima here. We have Dina. Hello, Dina. Lori Hunsinger is with us, and Isadora is here.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. We have, of course, the Stash Man. He's here. Hello. So, Allyson, anything new this week?
I went back to work, went back to school. I'm a school bus driver, so we were back to school, and very exciting, very busy. Different schedule, of course, different bedtime, different rise time, all of that kind of stuff affects home life as well. All good though. I can't complain. It's just a big change.
Yeah.
So
you seem to be happy and enjoying it.
Back to reality. So yeah, it's good. It's busy. I mean, I work a lot, and but I'll always work. I'll probably never retire. I'll just work. I like having the schedule. I don't know. I just wish I don't adapt to it as easily. I mean, I've only been doing this for a while, but like adapt to like an early morning shift as quickly as I used to. So it's interesting, but I also have a lot going on in my chart versus and I don't usually put a whole lot into that, but there's a lot going on right now. And a lot of it affects the way my chart is designed. So I think that's part of the whole sluggish and not bouncing. I mean, I'm almost not 25 anymore. So I don't know. It's just, but it's all good. It's fine. I already feel more energized. And like I said, I can't complain. I'm grateful for my job and everything. So it's good.
Very nice. And Cleo, for people who don't know too much about you, did you want to share anything about yourself with people in chat who may not know you?
Okay, I'm a psychic, a medium, and a seer. And the seer part is actually what I came into this on, was because I've been doing that for a long time. And I'm talking about I get information about the past, the present, and the future. You know, like I like going back to Egypt, and I also like looking into UFOs, and then I like to see what's going on with climate change in the future. So I do that, but I haven't really done that much of it on YouTube because I've been so involved in now doing readings and all the politics and stuff. And I've really, I'm just amazed how much everybody has come up with, particularly politics. You've come up with so many different things that over the months, everything has happened as predicted. And so I'm really fascinated about these collaborations and how they work, and how that you can put together a bunch of strangers that are psychic and throw a question at them, and little by little they all come up with a similar answer or solution, or you know, and it's just that to me is just amazing. And I you know, I think it's this YouTube collaboration is the first time ever that kind of thing has happened, that you know, that we could actually do that. And because there's never been a thing where for the collaboration. So it's a brand new thing. I'm really excited about it. It's really cool, and it really validates what we're all doing in the first place. You know, if people think that we're just grabbing answers out of thin air, we're not. You know, we're being guided by our spirit guides, and the fact that we all come down, for the most part, we all come down to the same response to a question. And I'm just like, how in the world could that be? That is amazing. I mean, I would never have expected that until I got on here. So yeah, I mean, I've been stalking everybody. Seeing what they're doing and what's going on with them, and how they feel about all this. And I mean, so many talented people on here that it's just, it's
our
really,
community is growing. And welcome to our community.
Well, thank you.
Great to have you. Can I ask, I want to ask you one question though, because I'm not used to seeing someone referring to them as a seer. So to you, what is the difference between like a psychic medium and a seer? Or is it just another word that means the same thing, but you like the sound of seer?
Well, no, it's different, because as a seer, I'm directly looking into things that occurred in the, let's talk about Egypt. You know, if I'm looking into what happened in ancient Egypt and how that might affect us now, but also just everything about what was going on within ancient Egypt. And to me, that was just fascinating. Then on the other end, looking at, like I said, like UFOs, you know, the reality of that. And that's such a widespread thing. With all the new technology of these telescopes that have gone up, have really broadened everything about what we know about the universe and the planets, and you know, what exists out there. And there's just absolutely no question that there's life somewhere else. And then, but anyway, as a seer, that's what I'm doing, is looking at these things from what I'm being told with my spirit guides. Because before I did this stuff on YouTube, I would just, the spirit guides helped me personally, because I was having my own kind of problems. And that took a while, but after a while, it just got boring just talking about me. And then that's when my spirit guide said, "Well, we can talk about other stuff." And I just said, "Yeah, I'd really like to know about Egypt." And so, like for a year, we would discuss off and on different things about Egypt. So, yeah, I didn't get into this to do readings, like personal readings, and it was purely for myself, because I was in a bad situation, and I was sick, and and I lost everything, and I kind of had to start over. So I had to, I relied on the spirit guides to help me get through that. And it was from that I went into the seer thing. So the psychic and medium stuff, it just came up because of what I was doing. I had to learn how to the main thing I learned was how to hear my spirit guides, because it was so easy to imagine that I'd heard something or to try to get it to go the way I wanted it to go. And so I had to learn how to like remove ego, sit down and just listen to what I'm being told. And that took a long time. But anyway, so I have a little bit different background as far as not really doing readings and stuff until I got into this. And so that's why I'm so fascinated with this collaboration of things and how it works, and that everybody tends to get on the same path of what we're talking about. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
yeah, it does. It did. Is there like a favorite subject that you really just resonate with? Like you were mentioning ancient Egypt, UFOs. I love all that stuff. And then you mentioned like politics and climate. Is there one that is just like really your passion? Like you're like, oh yeah, let's get to these questions. Or are you kind of you like all of them?
Well, I do. But ancient Egypt was one that I spent a long time on, and UFOs. So, but what I liked about ancient Egypt is to understand how an entirely different civilization that we don't really know anything about other than what they left behind. And you can tell that it was a very civilized group of people that just, they're super intelligent. You know, and everybody thinks, well, we talk about UFOs, that ancient aliens came down and helped them. And really, no, that's not what happened. These people were just regular people, but over thousands of years, they developed a mass amount of information, and they were very spiritual,
and
very
math.
smart. What?
Their math.
The math, exactly. They had that
they
down.
were doing that, not aliens.
They understood the universe. I mean, they understood the planet and all that stuff. So
See, now I always felt like the aliens helped us, but it was like more of a mentorship, kind of like, here are some tools and we'll leave you to that. And then they were able to take like us going to school, going to our professors, going to our, people of higher learning and saying, okay, you go to school, here's your tools. Now take that out into the world and see what you can do with your own gifts with developing them. So that's kind of how I've always seen that interaction with, our, ancient, brothers and sisters or star people. So that's interesting. That's the first time I've met somebody in our community with that perspective.
With ancient aliens, or even aliens today, as far as I know, they cannot interfere. So they cannot come down here and say, this is how we made our spacecraft, or this is how you can do this or that.
Yeah.
Because if they do that, they interfere in our evolution. We have to learn these things for ourselves. And there's been a lot of interest in aliens in the last year or so, and I just think that and some people are so afraid, like they're going to come down and do something. No, they've been around for thousands of years. They've actually helped us, but they will not just land and start talking to us. That's not going to happen. And they are so far advanced. I mean, we can't really imagine the type of things that they know how to do, because we're and then that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, that's evolution. That like I said, they've been around for thousands and thousands of years, and they are very well. Right now, I shouldn't even bring this up because it was something I'm going to bring up on my own channel. But right now, with this war in Ukraine, and they I think it was like last summer, they talked about that there was all these little alien spaceships and stuff.
Yes.
Then they decided, no, that's not what it was. They were actually Chinese drones. And so I looked at that, and it looks very similar, but I know that the aliens are definitely around that because there's been that threat on that, that power plant, that nuclear power plant. And this would not be the first time that aliens have intervened kind of without our knowledge to prevent us from
blowing ourselves up.
Annihilation. So, you know, they are very attracted to every time we have we have nuclear power plants, and they understand that we have come a long ways to be able to develop this. But on the other hand, we haven't thought it through. We haven't thought it through, like what happens when we have a tsunami over in wherever it was, or
it was Japan with all
over
their
Japan,
nuclear,
and so
wow.
You know, we didn't think it through that could kind of thing could happen. So they're thinking, okay, you guys are learning, but they don't want us to annihilate ourselves. They do not want Russia to blow up the nuclear power plant, and they will do things to try to prevent that. However, they're not our savior.
Right. So they're not going to act like a safety net, but
to a certain degree, so that we don't blow up the planet or completely take our whole civilization out. Because you would think we would have learned with Chernobyl. I remember that. I didn't understand it, you know, really when I was that young, the implications of it. But even after over 30 years now, that place is still radioactive. And now with, you know, Fukushima and people more wanting to, hey, let's do nuclear energy. It's really scary. It really is.
Yeah, I think that they need to settle down about, even in Washington State, where I'm from, they've been talking about putting in a new nuclear power plant. And I'm like, no, don't do it yet, because we're just a few years away from learning how to do nuclear energy that's much, much safer and does not create this hazardous waste that we don't know what to do with. We're taking it and burying it out in the desert or something. So if they'll just hold on a little bit, it's not going to take much. They have developed they've come across I've just heard about it in the last year there's nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. I don't know anything about either one of those, but one of them is the kind that we're using for nuclear energy. The other one is it's just so much better, and it doesn't give off this, it doesn't end up in nuclear waste. And it's very, very powerful. I mean, we just wouldn't need that many throughout the world to create all the power we need.
But look what Tesla developed it way back in the 1800s, and then they tore his tower down because it meant free energy for people. And they were like, no, that corporation, that greed, you know, and they shut him down. So I think that's why it may be, in my perspective, why it's taking so long for us to really use a energy that is clean, that is sustainable, and that is safe, because we have so many people in the oil, the electric, everything, wanting to make as much money off the resources, as possible. And just really quick, I want to let people in chat know that I'm seeing some of your questions for Cleo on the subject, and I am highlighting them. So let me see if I can just, unless you want, is there something else you want to add?
They're talking about the fusion reaction, and I guess that's what I'm referring to too. It's been a little bit since I looked at this, but yeah, if they'll just hold on. Now, the kind of energy that Tesla was working with was wireless energy, and it was not it was not nuclear, but it was actually the same kind of thing that they developed in Egypt that we don't have any record of, but it's it's wireless energy. But this fusion thing, and Cosmic Orphan says fusion is like the sun, and that's exactly what it is. But not being somebody that really totally understands that, all I know is that if given just a few more years, I mean, I'm talking like within 5 years, they'll probably have it developed to where they can make these new power plants so much safer, so much more efficient. It'll cost less. There'll be no radioactive waste to deal with. And it's really a fantastic thing. And I know that's going to happen.
Well, that's good. And I have a question from Isadora. going back to talking about aliens and our ET brothers and sisters, she wanted to ask you, but what about the people who have claimed to have been abducted? I feel like a lot of their stories are very true, that they're, and I have heard other people speak on, that there are good races that, help us out and look out for us, but there are also the darker ones who come and they do what they do. So she wanted to see what your insight was on the abductees.
Once again, I haven't spent a lot of time on the abducted ones. I agree with you, Heather, that yeah, these people have had something that was unusual, that felt like an abduction. They're the aliens that I've connected with are not of that group. They are so far advanced, they wouldn't need to come in and abduct anybody and figure out what human beings are like or anything. So apparently there is a group that has the same kind of technology that can travel through. Well, I mean, the distance is just
astronomical. Yeah, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's totally mind blowing. So yeah, I don't discount that has happened, but I think it's not a vast amount of people. But yeah, those people, that's their reality. That's what happened to them, and it was probably really scary. And I don't, I think some people felt like they ended up with cancer or something like that from being exposed to aliens.
They find implants and stuff too. Yeah, it's
and implants and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just bizarre. I just, like I said, I haven't really talked to my guides about the abduction part. I've only talked to them about the more positive side. But yes, I do not discount that. People.
And Stephen wanted to offered earlier. They mastered the Kundalini.
I don't know what that is.
Your Kundalini is like your life force energy that starts in our base of our bodies, of our energy bodies, like our lower chakra, and it's that that our base.
I don't understand that. I've read about it. I still don't understand what Kundalini is. I've read what you just described. Still doesn't make sense to me.
It's like an energy that starts at the base of our spine. It's like our life force energy. It's like that that procreative life force, energetic.
So is it a divine
that comes up and something? Yeah, I mean,
that's what I mean. Something. It's like we don't really know.
People refer to like a
Steven can explain it, or like, I don't know. I don't get it.
So
what he's saying is that they've mastered this.
That's what the aliens he feels that like the ancient Egyptians, the aliens have mastered the Kundalini. I never could get into the practice of the Kundalini. It didn't feel right or natural for me, so I never followed through with it. And Sonia also had this is going to be a question. So
good.
Do you let me go ahead and star that.
I think most of us do, to be perfectly honest.
Me too.
We'll put that in as a question to pull cards on. And I'm just catching up really quick with the chat.
Because I'm Egyptian,
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, you should see some of the things that she's been finding.
I'm going to claim it regardless because it's so cool, but...
Okay, has to be contained in an electromagnetic field. I think Stephen's still discussing the fusion. This is Kari.
Do a reading with you, Cleo.
Hi, Kari. Let's see. Lori said it will take decades to build the new infrastructures. Yeah, because all of our infrastructures are like, we're still having like places over the years, bridges collapsing. I know what our infrastructure is like here. I mean, if the government's, state, local, and federal can't keep up with maintaining, our major infrastructures and highways and stuff, we can't possibly really even think about doing anything with nuclear until, they can get, like I said, the greed, out of, the politics and the corporations. Really quick. Hi, Jezri. Thank you for being here. It's the oil. Oh, go ahead, Cleo.
Well, when I said 5 years on this new kind of nuclear power, I'm talking about just being able to finally develop it into, you know, building the structure that's going to do this and having the technology to do that. The 20, they're talking about 20 years of something. That probably, you know, I mean, it seems to me like we've got wires strung out all over the world that are carrying energy. So is that always going to be that way? Highly unlikely, you know, especially now that we know how to do so many things through. I just lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Time for a sip then.
I do it all the time, Cleo.
When we go like to the modem wirelessly, I'm talking about wirelessly. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I mean, yeah, things are going to change, and it is going to take time, but at least I don't know. I like what President Biden is doing with all his energy things and concern. I mean, the thing about the climate change, it's just so important that gets a lot of attention, and we have to change what we're doing because, you know, with the cars and the pollution and dumping stuff in the oceans and all that kind of stuff really has to change. And I'm glad that Biden's doing that, but I think he's also pushing for more nuclear power plants, and we don't want
drilling, more power plants. And me personally, we need to stop. I mean, I understand the plight of other countries dealing with Russia, you know, with Ukraine, but a lot of that 30 million or billion, whatever it was that he sent over there, we really need to use that here for our schools, you know, our infrastructures, for our healthcare, especially for our elderly. I really feel like we really need to start focusing a lot on, you know, our country and what we need to be able to keep our people safe, healthy, and, you know, taken care of.
A general feeling about that is that he is trying to prevent World War III, and all the other countries are concerned about that too. So that's kind of the reason they're putting so much money behind Ukraine, because if Ukraine can win this and beat this and you know, be taken care of that way, then Russia, boy, I don't believe a single word that they tell us about Russia. I do believe about Ukraine, but I don't believe about Russia and what they're doing. So I can understand why he is putting so much money into Ukraine, because we're not the only country doing that. And you know, it's kind of like, okay, the war started there, so we want it to finish there. We want them to get beyond this. And the Russia, I don't know, it's just so backwards that they're even doing this kind of a war. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. We've got so many things we need to do here, but we have to be careful about what's going on over there. And when you've got a loose cannon like Vladimir Putin, I mean, it just.
And then you got Korea and China in the back wings.
Oh, and I'm so worried about that nutcase too. I mean, he's just.
If that's a real one, we don't even know if that's the actual Un, because I know for the past year or so, readers have been speculating back and forth whether or not, you know, that's him or that's, you know, a lookalike, because he's no longer in spirit. And I know some readers say that they feel he's still here. There's been some readers who feel like, you know, he's on the other side. So, you know,
I don't know if I've ever heard. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi.
Oh, go ahead, Allison.
I was gonna say, I don't know, and maybe there have been. I have only seen people reading cards talking about Putin and this Un guy. I don't know if I've seen anybody like Cleo talk about it myself. Do you have any feeling one way or the other about either of these people or any of these people being, you know, misrepresented? You know, like maybe they've actually crossed. Do you have any feeling about that at all?
I don't think Putin has crossed, but I do think that he has more than one double.
Lookalike.
Because if you look at his pictures,
yeah,
and compare him to older pictures of him, you're like, well, that doesn't even look like that guy.
Yeah, there's variances.
He's missing wrinkles on his forehead, or he's something about his face is totally different.
Just off.
And I really think there's been a number of assassination attempts on Putin, but that so far they haven't been successful. I really think that, like they just said, many of the leaders have body devils, and it only makes sense with Putin, because for one thing, he's scared to death he's going to get assassinated. He's doing everything he can not to, but in the same time trying to act like he's in control of this war. And it's just, this war is so it's so outdated. It's just so it's so unnecessary. And so and he didn't plan on that all the people in Russia were going to be connecting via the internet to find out how the rest of the world feels about this, or to find out what exactly Russia is doing. I know they're trying to prevent that kind of news coming through to their people, but a lot of those people, they know they don't want to be involved in this war.
Oh,
they don't agree with
Putin. Yeah. I mean, I have artists that I follow on Instagram, and they're in Russia, and it's just like, when I do, sometimes comment on their, posts when they show their art and stuff, I'm like, sending you love. I hope you guys are okay, and a lot of times you don't see them really talking about this, because they know that they have to be careful what they, they post and stuff. It's really scary. Now, what about Kim Un? What do you feel about him? Because a lot of people feel like he has crossed, that for a while he disappeared. His sister took over, and then another one came out that kind of looked like him, but didn't really look like him.
But thinner, much thinner.
Yeah,
he's the one I felt like maybe he was in fact dead, maybe, but not the other. But again, I'm not. Yeah. I don't have the gifts that
I haven't looked at him. I've worried about him. He's such a nutcase. And he's so busy wanting to act like that they're so powerful and stuff. And I'm like, okay, go ahead, be powerful. But, and he's trying to develop.
Be powerful.
Do your thing. Who cares? But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
There was
I need to go shut my blinds a little bit. If you see I got the sun coming in, I'll be right back.
I was going to say, look like she had the state of Oklahoma on her chest.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's like Oklahoma. So I have been we've been getting some past life questions, so that's interesting. But I want to have this, just share this with Cleo from Sonia. And now Amanda Carroll, actually, I'll wait till Cleo comes back and share some of these. So, Amanda Carroll joined us. Lady Silver 1111 joined us. I know Sonia's still talking about the hurricane. Hope everybody is safe in Florida. So we had a few more comments that I starred. We've got a couple questions about past lives, but Sonia wanted
just a second.
Oh, I know I get like that with my window here. So it's all good. Maybe I can try out my new cards tonight. Oh my God, these things are so huge.
Sorry.
They're so big in my hands.
Heather, what is that, girl? What?
I sent pictures to you about that, remember?
Yes. I didn't know that's what you just held up. Show me how big the cards are.
Oh my God, girl. I mean, look how huge they are.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know they were going to be that big.
Oh, wow.
I get a rub spot on because these cards are so big and
Can you
thick.
hold an oracle card next to it to show the difference? Like one card? I'm just curious. It's wider and taller, isn't it? Wow.
Here, let me go and just do this really
They're
quick.
basically just longer, right? They're about the same width. Yeah, but just a good half inch or more longer.
Yeah.
And those are really big.
Yeah. Yep. So they've been a little difficult to maneuver, but Sonia wanted to share that used to go to the lectures, UFOs in Aztec, New Mexico, where I lived. It was very informative. I want to make sure I shared that. Let's see. Let me remove that. And Amanda says, I think of Kundalini as all of one's chakras spinning, activated and lit up, enabling clear communication with our divine energy and source. That's beautiful.
I don't have to worry about that.
So I like
my chakras need a lot of help.
In, people. Let's see. And
thank you, Amanda.
And Lori, anyone interested in a deep dive into the new technology should look into the information that Dr. Stephen Greer has. It will blow the back of your head. Oh my goodness. Hopefully not that, but
I try not to have that happen, but that's good to know.
Yeah. That would be extremely painful. No, that's okay. Let's see. Now, Stephen, here, let me just put, he says, Kundalini image of RWS, 2 of Cups image.
Kundalini image, Rider-Waite-Smith, 2 of Cups.
Yes, 2 people holding cups, and then there's that light between them, that energy source. So I'm going to...
I thought I would show it.
So kind of like that spiraling up. Yeah. Different interpretations. Yeah. Amanda says, I'm not there yet either, Allison.
And Stephen is very wise. He can speak on so many different things. It's
and Sonia, you're right. Bigger doesn't mean better. But, at least it's not a cheap card stock. It's actually thick. But you know what what drives me a little nuts about this is that all the white border. We really don't need all this white border. I had a proper cutter.
I'm not big on borders.
I would trim it, but
most decks have them. Yeah,
my trimmer wouldn't be able to do this. It would just tear the cards apart. So I have
That's why I like the Morgan Greer deck. It's not so much that it doesn't have any borders. And I think everything else I have that's tarot size has borders.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
Heather, Heather, can I ask you really quick? Did you, when I went to shut the blinds, which I did shut the blinds, but then they're little slats and they kept coming open, so it didn't really work. But anyway, I've got that fixed. Did you say something about that the sun, like the whatever was cast on me was the state of Oklahoma?
It looked like it because it had the square and then it had this line coming out of it, like how Oklahoma has. And I thought that was kind of, why, is there a significance to Oklahoma?
There is. There's totally a significance to Oklahoma. My dad was from Oklahoma, and I spent summers in Oklahoma.
Oh my God.
I also have mineral rights in Oklahoma. So I think you just told me something that I wasn't even, something's going on in Oklahoma. I love hearing that.
So mineral rights, is that like for stones and crystals, or what are mineral rights?
Oil and gas.
Oh, wow.
Land.
Okay, Amanda, I don't know what you're doing. ... double dot. Maybe it's a kitty stepping on the keyboard. Mine does that sometimes. So is there anything else you wanted to share or talk about, Allison? Any topics or anything interesting? Now that we have Cleo here, we can kind of like, ooh, ancient Egypt.
No, but I think I need to get a reading with Cleo. I'm getting that right now. So
yeah, the minute she said she's connected into ancient Egypt, it was just kind of like,
I've been thinking I need to get a reading. I haven't had a reading in forever, and I think maybe I'm supposed to talk to Cleo. So yeah.
What, you want to talk about your connection to Egypt?
No, I mean, I'll connect you offline, but I think maybe I don't know.
Maybe
I was supposed to get a reading with you.
I think, like Cleo said, a lot of us have because of being
that could even be my connection to her. Who knows?
Yeah. So right now, if you ladies don't have anything, we do have a couple of questions about past lives. I don't have any past life cards, but I can pull and see what we get. And you up for that, ladies?
Sure.
Past life?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is Sonia. Do you see me having a connection to ancient Greece or Egypt? Well, let's try these new cards. And whenever you're ready, Cleo, you go right ahead.
I see a connection for Sonia in both. A number of past lives from that time. Then again, it's easy for me to say that because so many of us have that connection in past lives, but I think the one in Greece has maybe whatever happened in Greece has kind of followed you around life after life. So that might be even more. Oh, it's very interesting. Hold on here a minute.
Mhm.
Yes, you were involved in royalty in Greece, and I would think that that would be more from Egypt, but it's in Greece. And you've done many things we're talking many thousand, at least 1,000 years ago, if not longer. And Egypt as well, but Egypt goes back even further back. So you weren't in Egypt like when they were building the pyramids and things like that. You were before that. But in Greece, you lived a more of a life of luxury. You were in the upper echelons of things like that in Greece. Like, let me think. You were involved with. I want to say pharaohs, but then that goes back to were the pharaohs in Greece? I don't think so. Anyway, you were a rich person. You had a lot of influence, and the people in your family and your connections had a lot of influence in Greece. So I don't know if you feel that in this lifetime, but you had a number of lifetimes in ancient Greece. And like I said, the Egypt one goes way back, thousands of years way back, but the Greece one is more current. And you should kind of look to your soul and see if you can find out any more information that would be helpful to you in this lifetime for things that may have happened in that lifetime of what kind of person you really were. It sounds to me like you were a powerful person, yet yet um not like a control freak kind of person, not like one of the upper governments of Greece, but well, see, there you go. You can feel it. Way to go. Okay. Yeah, I thought that's what I felt too. Way to go.
And there was a lot of trading between Greece and Egypt, and I know at one time, as it was started to, like with Cleopatra and stuff, that was when like the Roman Empire was starting to move in or through Greece and through Egypt. So at one point they were kind of like coalescing in that area. It's been a while since I've read, Greece, or ancient, history, but I know what Lady Silver is tapping in there. So it's very possible that there might have been something with, Greece and Egypt connected together at the same time.
I have Greece big time. That's what I'm getting. Just the Greece thing. Anyways, the first card out is a sun, which absolutely reminded me of that as well. Look at this chariot, but this is the sun and this woman. I don't know, like even when I'm just looking at it. There's something here about wealth. So this could be royalty for sure. I do have the Fool here, which is another yes card, right? And then I do have some sort of conflict here with the Five of Wands. But I also have justice in the outcome, which is also very Greek feeling to me looking at this. So there was something here maybe significant with some lifetime. Again, I'm getting this whole royalty feeling. I mean, you probably had multiple lives, honestly, but one of them I feel was more significant than the others. And there might have been some sort of I want to say I'm feeling like a male lifetime, honestly. This is feeling quite masculine. I'm not saying that it is, but this Five of Wands is just jumping out at me. And it's right after the Fool. So You know, I just realized every single one of these cards has men on it. It's very masculine. The sun has a woman in the chariot, in the chariot, but this is the sun card. This is not the chariot card in this deck. Anyhow, yes, I see Greece. Doesn't mean Egypt doesn't happen, but Greece is what I'm getting, what's coming through. And yes, this is definitely what I would say is ancient Greece.
Okay, and really quick before I show my cards, Beth said I can never say, I can say it in my head, but I can never say it, speak it. The Ptolemaic dynasty was a Greek dynasty that ruled the Ptolemaic kingdom in ancient Egypt. So yeah, there was that connection. And I agree, Amanda. So many of us were probably together.
Yeah.
So let me just put Sonia back up there. So Sonia, I pulled cards for Greece and for Egypt, and I did get Greece. I got ninth house, faith. I got the air element, communication.
Sorry.
And I also got revolution. So I'm feeling from these cards is that you were there was a spiritual connection, and you were someone that was because with Greece a lot of for me it's probably going to be masculine, because back then I know there were women philosophers, but mostly the schools were for the men. So I see them a lot of communications, something to do maybe within the temples, temples coming and maybe kind of butting heads maybe with the incoming government. But I got the revolution card, so I feel like you might have been part of some sort of revolution that took place back in Greece, because Greece is known for its orators, and I got that communications card. For Egypt, yeah, I did get sacrifice for Egypt. I got all female cards for Egypt. I got Scorpio, I transform. And then I got Virgo, I analyze. And I'm feeling like because you did analysis of some kind, or you were in the know about something. When I say analyze, I'm feeling like there was something you might have been doing with alchemy, or with magic or something. You were very knowledgeable. And I feel like that you may have been made an example of. I got sacrifice, and then the transformation. To me, that's kind of like moving from life into death. And with the I analyze card, there's also this angel or spirit soul that's flying and leaving and moving out. And the last card I got was destiny. So I feel like that was your destiny, that you were knowledgeable. I'm getting a lot of strong. I mean, the cards are all feminine in this. So that's where I'm going to come from. So I don't know if that resonates or if that's what connects you, but that's what I got.
Boy, I think all the way around what we're all talking about. I still feel that Egypt was long before the Greece thing, but what really stands out is Greece. I didn't really get between the masculine and feminine. I kind of felt it was more feminine, but it wasn't something that I wasn't even thinking about that. So,
right. I felt like I was like maybe looking at a significant life, like one that was in Greece.
yeah. Well, that was really an interesting read. I hope Sonia really benefited from that, because we're all on the same path of what's going on with her.
So Beth wanted to share this. This is why she goes by Aspasia, because Greek women were prohibited from learning or involvement in intellectual discussions. Aspasia, she was a philosopher and held salons and breaking laws. So that's where Beth got her channel name. Very cool. I don't know. When Heather was talking, I felt that you visited that big library in Egypt as a Greek. Very possible. So I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything else from Sonia in what she responded. I know Lady Silver, Cleopatra was of Alexander the Great general birth line. Okay. So let's see. We are at 8:51. Cleo, how much time do you have? Because I don't want to.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So right now we are going to just let's see. Amanda has. Oh, so Amanda just wanted to share. Terry Suzuki told me I had connections to Egypt, Italy, and Greece. But I did get your question, Amanda. So you're on the list. Let me take off a specs here. So we have 4 more. And to read, and that should take us right to 9:30, if that's okay with you ladies. So Lady Silver, did I have more than one life in the military? Oh, I'm going to use my pendulum for that. I usually don't, so.
When I first read this question before you actually read it out loud, I thought yes. It just came across as yes.
Lady Silver, was there a specific lifetime or military? What do they call those when they have the wars? They call military not skirmishes, but conflicts that you maybe had specifically in mind that you wanted to know. I don't know if that would be more helpful to maybe narrow it to something a little bit more specific. Yeah, I'm getting a strong yes for more than one military. So, I'll see.
And I don't think that we're talking about thousands of years. I think we're talking about 100, 200 years, 100 to 200 years.
The Vedic astrologer on a quick read told me I had to work on military karma, Greeks against Turkey.
Oh, wow.
So that's a little more.
Well, come on, Allyson. What do you got?
I think so, and I think there might have been some crimes against women. Again, so, okay, before I even read this, and I'm not saying this is what this is, but keep in mind, especially if you believe this, and I believe it, doesn't mean anybody here has to believe it, but I believe that as we evolve as souls, as we go through lifetime, as our soul evolves, we've done lots of bad things. We've been lots of bad people. You're supposed to experience that, especially as you start at the bottom and you work your way up. So I think that, anyways, I have Justice, the 10 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, Death, the Knight of Swords. Hell yeah. Yes. Yes. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Swords, the Empress. 5 of Cups, 10 of Swords. As soon as I looked at this, I was like, okay. And lots of soldiers did awful things against women.
Yeah.
When they rolled into towns and this, that, and the other. So that could be connected to it. That wasn't the reading. That was the bottom of the deck. But yeah. And it doesn't mean you were bad or horrible, but you want to know about war. Yes. Justice, 10 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles working together, Death. Knight of Swords. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Many times over, I got
the 10 of Swords too. I got absolute ruin. I also got the 5 of Pentacles. On this deck, it's called material trouble, but yeah, the wars leaving people destitute. I got the 7 of Pentacles, success unfulfilled. So I'm feeling like there may have been wars that you lost, that were unsuccessful, campaigns that were unsuccessful. I did get the Ace of Cups. So for me, it feels like it was almost in one of your lives, like it was emotionally fulfilling, that there was a sense of enjoyment out of it. But at the bottom, like Allyson, I got the 10 of Swords, just absolute ruin. So yeah.
And also define military, right? I mean, military can be,
Kari says she sees
fighting and war.
II.
That's a lot of different. But if you're talking about actually a formalized like military, when did that start? I don't even know.
Oh, way back. Formalized
Military. That's what I'm saying. It depends on what are we talking about. I mean,
Gotcha.
military. I mean, that's what's
Well, yeah,
what's the
that's what I
definition
think.
of
I think
military?
you're talking about military, just like in the army now.
Right.
Just,
So we're talking about uniforms and organized by the country, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't even know when that actually started.
but how, actually, if you were involved in something like that, how did you personally live with the consequences? I mean, war and military and fighting and killing
In
other
any country.
people, you know, yeah.
Military is not US necessarily at all.
Exactly. And I mean, it's just, you know, it's legal to be in the military and kill somebody.
Yes.
And so that is really probably one of the most difficult things anybody that serves in, you know, in a war or whatever, that they have to live with. And I think that that's the kind of thing that's following this person, Lady Silver, following you around throughout your lives, because you hated that about the military. You did not want to kill people, but you had
affects your soul.
Yeah. And Lady Silver says, I really didn't have a clue. You ladies have given me some clarity. I'm glad we were able to help. I think that was the first time we've read for Lady Silver, because usually she can't stay and chat when we come on, and she says hi. So thank you. And hello, Kevin. Welcome. It's the first time I've seen you here in chat. Nice to have you. Lori says really quick, I have an uncle that fought the Ottomans. His picture is in the museums in Athens. Oh, wow. He was the one in history that died at the Parthenon. It was organized in Greece during the time of the Ottomans. Thank you, Lori. Wow. You were able to trace your lineage that far back. That's amazing. Okay. So next one is Jezree. Do I have a past life that's influencing this one? Okay. We're all trying to discover our purpose, my dear. Believe me.
Yes, for sure.
I understand that.
Yeah, we all have past lives that influence this current
Absolutely.
life.
Yes.
And when you say which one and why, boy,
that's
we
can't really read.
Yeah. Well,
we could see, you know, what, like something regarding your purpose this time around.
Yeah.
I guess
maybe which past life is influencing this current one, like the energies around it.
Many.
Yeah. I would think in a question.
I say individually, just form the question how you want. I mean, we can get her a message regardless. But
well, I think in a question like this is, rather than be concerned about what happened in a past life that's influencing you, look to your soul to connect with your spirit guides to figure out if they want. They'll help you. They'll help guide you through these things. And I don't mean that they'll sit down and suddenly come up with some answer. That's the whole point of a spirit guide, is guiding you through things. And obviously your past lives will play some kind of influence in that. But I if it was me, I would look more to my spirit guides to discover my purpose.
That's what I got. Yep. Because what I asked was, does her guides have any advice on how she can connect with any of her past lives? And I got part of fortune. I'm learning the astrology, but it says increase. So you need to increase. And I got lunar eclipse change. And for me, this represents spirit guides, connecting with your spirit guides, paying attention to the cycles of the moon where you feel most in tune to your spirit guides. And I know that sometimes we all have multiple different guides. So there may be different ones that you feel more drawn to or connected to during different moon cycles. But I am feeling, yes, connect with spirit guides. And the last card was truth. So when you do that, you connect with your guides, you will discover more truths to, past lives and what you may have to be learning in the present. So I hope that helps. But yes, like Cleo said, connecting with your spirit guides.
Yeah, that I'm glad I'm glad you read it that way, because that's really what I was thinking, just what you said.
Did you get anything, Allyson?
I did. And Jez, what I asked is I just asked my African Goddess Rising Oracle deck, as I do, if there was any, what is the message for you regarding any past lives? You know, how did I word that? Past lives, what would be that are really impacting your life? What would be the most, you know, impactful message to come through? I worded it something like that. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, I got a set, which is Isis. And you can see her laying here, and she has this little baby nursing actually sitting on her. This is such a beautiful card. I wish it would actually show up. And there's a beautiful like blue heron stork-like type bird here. I'm going to read the entire thing because I just pulled the one card. So I set Goddess of Spiritual Surrender out of Nubia, Egypt. And I'll read this little bit about her. Goddess Iset is revered as a magical healer and sorceress. She of 10,000 names, you may know her as Isis, her Greek name, or Aset, or Wuset. Iset was worshipped in ancient Nubia, the Sudan region, Egypt, and beyond. So this is her message. Her guidance message is let it all go. So you're holding on to stuff, right? Which who doesn't? But say aloud now, I surrender. These words cast a spell. Breathe them in. The embodiment message, release control. Stop bonding around struggle. Hand the keys to the divine. Allow spirit to carry you and fill in the gaps. You don't have to figure it all out. God, Goddess has your back. Have faith in where you are at this moment. And the Goddess Declaration, which is basically a mantra, if you should choose to use it. Everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time.
There you go.
Which I think is ironic.
I love that. Don't you think?
Everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. So this deck is very powerful for anybody that's interested, if it resonates with you at all. The card, the message, there's always something there that totally, So this is a great deck for anybody that's interested. And again, this is where's the booklet? It's the African, it's right here in front of me because I was just reading from it. This is the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck, and it was just on sale really cheap on Hay House. I paid 3 times as much for it. But anyways, that's your message. I hope that's helpful, Jess, in some sort of way. I don't know if that was quite what you were looking for, but that's what I got.
That mantra was, like you said, I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And the message from that card, I mean, just amazing.
Yeah.
Egyptian. It could be very well Egyptian too. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
From that area, so it's quite possible. And next up is Ellen with, do you see whether I had a connection with the Fae in the past? I automatically want to say yes, but I'll pull some cards on that.
What is the Fae?
The fairy realm.
The fairy realm.
The fairy realm. Okay.
Hi, Sheila. Thanks for popping in, saying hi. So, what deck do I want to use for that? Here. Let's see.
Well, I don't know about in the past. What about right now? I see a connection right now. Depending on how you feel about that subject and how you resonate with the fairies and what's going on with that with you. Personally, I don't know that much about fairies, but I know other people that are totally convinced with them and look to them. My sister happens to be a fairyologist, so she would be great for this question, but I think you have a connection, not probably in the past, but also right now in the present, that you could benefit from that connection as well. So that's what I have to say about that.
And let's see. Wonderful. I live in a high rise in New York City. Not much day-to-day connection to the Fae realm.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you're in the town of concrete and steel, so you need to you need to go out into go out to the park once in a while, I guess. Get down with nature.
Yeah.
Have plants if you can too, and have invite Fae to come to your plants and care for your plants, and crystals that you might have in there. And I'm saying crystals because I got a card here that recommends that. But go ahead, Allison.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What I got here is I got clarity at the bottom of the deck. So to me, that's like a yes. And this is not a fairy deck, but look how fairy fae-esque these gals look. Pretty fairy looking if you ask me. But anyways, I got positivity. So for me, that's a yes, right? And also this could be laid out to what you were just saying about being in the city. It's about seeing past that. Yeah, it's not exactly an ideal environment for that. But and then I got compassion. And what I got from that, and I'm loving that I'm getting more stuff as of late. What that really is that saying that you see the Fae, you get it, you believe it, you have love for it, you know that it's real, you don't question it. That's what I'm getting from that. But the positivity is and then I have the moon is shining here. Yes, you do. And I don't know if you do now or not, but with Cleo seeing it, I'm sure you do. Just the fact that you're entertaining it or asking about it or thinking about it, and so many people just don't. But I'm thinking yes in the past, and I think Cleo's probably right. You could probably connect now if you just make, not that I'm saying you don't, but if you do make an effort. You're saying that you live in the city and maybe you're like in the the concrete jungle. You can always go wherever you would know where near you to be involved. So yeah, and if you have plants in your home, the Fae will come to you. You don't have to go out. I mean, they're little light beings. They can come to where you are. I think you're going to have more activity though if you go outdoors. So that's what I got.
So, yep, I got Starry Night, which is acceptance. So yes, and with me too, with this card, he's also looking up to the stars. So I'm also getting a connection with the star people. And there is some tales of star people being the Fae, being the part of the She, especially in Ireland. They were called the Tuatha Dé Danann. It's different ways people pronounce it, the Tuatha Dé Danann or the Tuas. I just, call them. They were known as, the beings that came from the clouds in their ships. And they eventually, went underground and become the She. There's still different interpretations of that. Some feel that they are Fae, some people that don't. But this card automatically tells me that you also have a connection to the stars. Next card I did get that was interesting, I mentioned crystals, is that I have trust. So yes, have trust in what you feel So if you feel that you have Fae connections in the past, present, whether past life, up to now, have faith, have trust. Yes. I got the frog spirit renewal. So just renewing your connection with them. Like Cleo said, going out into nature.
That's a yes right there.
And then the last card too, right here, Wise Woman of the Grove, Grace. And some people have a hard time, but she is right there. And so I feel a lot like, there's the treasure. This is you. You're on the wood. So yes, for me, that's a big yes. So I hope that helped. And just so to kind of, in case people see the conversation. So, was it last night or the night before? Allie was telling me that there's something going around YouTube where if too many links of other channels or multiple channels of guests are in the chat, that YouTube is actually the algorithms or something are messing with people's subscriptions and they're removing people from subscriptions. I'm not sure. Yeah, Allie was telling me something about that. She said she had put a post. So I know Sheila and Cosmic Orphan has been having that discussion. So if you happen to see that going on in the chat, something to do with linking is seen as external links, and YouTube doesn't like it. I really have no idea of, if any of that is true, if it's, people have contacted YouTube and talked to them personally, but I just wanted to clarify that really quick if people in chat were wondering what the conversation was about, if you ladies saw that while we're doing the readings. So I just wanted to, thank you, Sheila. You're such a sweetheart. Yeah, not sure if it's true either. So if you have a link and you have a channel, please support Cleo. Now, Cleo, really quick, the only link I could find for you was for your channel. Is there can people book a reading with you via your email? Do you have a website? I didn't see any of that on your.
Yeah, no, I don't have a
Not
website.
yet?
I'm not on any other social media, and I'm just working on this
Hi,
channel.
Amanda.
And yeah, that's all I'm doing right now.
Okay. And Ellen says, I'm particularly drawn to the trees. So yeah.
Well, that's good.
Beautiful. And there was something that I starred, and that was Lori. She said Nancy Jean is also knowledgeable about the fairies and elementals. She does answer questions on her live. So yep,
That's
Nancy
true.
Jean's garden. She does crystals, and she has a crystal grid where she throws crystals and sees where they lay on her grid, and she reads, that way along with cards. So that's pretty interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so let me unstar those. And our last one. Oh, Amanda, you're so sweet. I would be honored to know what Cleo thinks about my connections to Egypt, Greece, or Italy.
Well, I'm immediately I'm drawn to Italy for Amanda. Boy, you know what? You've got a little bit of everything going on there, but the most recent connection in this, well, I'm not so sure about this life. Maybe it is this life, but in previous lives is definitely Italy. Maybe you were somebody that traveled back and forth between Greece and Italy and Egypt. Your connection with Egypt was a long, long time ago. And it's interesting that you wrote Egypt, Greece, or Italy, because it's just like that. It's like Egypt the first, Greece the second, Italy the third. Italy is the most, the closest one that is there's a connection with.
Truth. I got the truth card as you were saying that. So yeah, that came up for Italy. Wow.
What do you get, Allyson?
I didn't draw on it because you were reading, and I didn't think it was
okay. All right.
So, were you done?
I can be. It doesn't. I mean, I can.
No, you can keep going on if you like. There's no rush.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I don't know if your heritage is Italian or something like that, but it really feels very strong about Italy. So, whatever you've got going on there, I don't know, but you've got a great connection with Italy. The other connections are in the distance. They're beyond. They're older connections, but all of those fit in. But Italy, especially right now in this life, seems to be something that you resonate with, and something I don't know if you want to visit there or have visited there or want to live there, or if you have relatives, or if you're Italian yourself. But yeah, Italy.
Amanda, quick. Oh, I'm sorry, Cleo.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if you met your partner in Italy, or if your partner is Italian, because when I was shuffling, that came out and I set it aside because I didn't know if that was significant. But with Cleo talking about Italy currently, I wasn't sure if maybe you had somebody in your family had your partners, mom, dad, grandparents, or maybe you have met somebody in Italy that's become a partner, or even partners, maybe not even like a marriage, but like a business or like a soul connection. Not yet, Heather. Okay, because that card came out and I was curious about the partnership, and it was showing a bit of the love connection, but it doesn't always necessarily have to be a love connection. It could be like a spiritual connection, or maybe a business or something. So okay, let me know though if you find out anything.
Well, she's saying that it's mostly Scandinavian this time, and that she's been to Italy and would like to return or would love to return.
Okay, that hasn't popped up on my feed yet. Okay.
Okay. So
might slow tonight. Yeah. Sorry.
Amanda, if I was you, I mean, I would look into more of this Italian thing, because I think there's something either in your past lives or within your family heritage. And you say the Scandinavian. Well, I've done the ancestry.com thing too, and everybody's got Scandinavian, and mainly just Europe. If you've got relatives from Europe, which we all do.
Amanda,
You have a large Mona Lisa in your
Lisa.
kitchen. Oh, I love that. That's perfect, because
okay, now
you resonate to Italy and the Italian things, and so.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done your ancestry, Amanda? I'm just curious.
There was something I wanted to. Twisted Sushi came in. Hi, Amanda. Let me know, because I'm not sure. She typed in rudeness, and I don't know if something was mistaken out of, because this is a very friendly, very safe space, and I want to make sure that all my guests that are with me feel safe and comfortable, and I want everybody in my chat to feel safe and comfortable. So Amanda, if
no ancestry,
the Twisted Sushi, if there was something that made you feel uncomfortable, I apologize, and I'm pretty sure to let you know that it might not have been intended.
Half Finnish, quarter Swedish, no ancestry. You may want to do it, Amanda. Like I had heard from my family what we were, and then I got my ancestry done, and it was pretty accurate what I'd been told, but I found out a lot more, and there was some stuff in there that I had no clue about. So it's very interesting.
Me too.
Fun. And at Christmas time, they run specials on Ancestry. You can get your whole thing done for like $50 or something. And to me, anyways, personally, and I'm very careful where I spend money, it was totally worth. I actually got it as a gift, but I would have done it. It was totally worth the investment. And then they continue to give you updates and everything. And it's very cool. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And you get information. She said her mom did hers. Yeah. You can get information from that.
My chat's slow.
But yeah, it's even cooler to get your own done. So yeah.
Now, the one thing is that I had my ancestry done, and I found out things that I didn't even know about, like Scandinavian and Finnish and everything. But there is talk in my family of Native American heritage, and that didn't show up. But I just recently was talking to somebody, and a lot of with places like Ancestry and that 21 or 123me or something, a lot of them don't have enough DNA really on whatever they're in their databases or something. So there are a lot of Native American ancestries that get missed because of that. So, but I learned a lot. I really did. It was beautiful. Middle Eastern, 1% African. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cleo, what are your ancestries? If
I've done the ancestry.com thing too, and
hi Michelle.
At first my brother did it, and I thought, well, let me see what mine comes out is, and it comes out, of course, just about the same. But I know that my family my grandparents came from Germany. I mean, they came over on a boat and did the whole thing from getting land and stuff in Oklahoma, and
Yeah.
they were yeah. So we got a lot of German, but they don't write it down that way from Ancestry.com. They just kind of it's like all European, and I'm like, well, I want to know specifics, but I didn't really get all those specifics. But yeah, it came up about what I thought it would.
Yeah, some of my like mine was actually, it usually pops right up. I might be able to look at it and tell you what I mean. Mine, it said there was a part of that. Oh, now you don't know who I am right now. Ugh, never mind. I'm not going to deal with it right now. I must not be signed in. But anyhow, so there's a section of mine that says that. It says Northeastern Europe or something like that. And then when you click on it, it breaks it all down. But separate from that, there's some European countries, right? So like there's I have Spanish is the majority, and I have I have Irish. I never knew I had any Irish.
Yeah, I've got that too.
About Ireland, right? And I have some French Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And we were always told that we had some French. There's like little teeny tiny French, and then I have
Bye, Lady Silver. Thank you.
Oh, what's the African country? I always want to say the wrong one.
Was it Uganda? You told me once before. No. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I can't remember.
Kenya.
It'll come to me in just a second. But I have like 4 that are 1%. Like 1% this, 1% that, 1%.
Wow.
1%. And so, but when you go back and you do the math, that's only like 7 generations. That's not really that far, right? If you break it down, you break it in half every time. It's only like, I don't know, 7 generations or something.
And Kari mentioned that the DNA kits don't tell you where you are from. It's based on who has already taken the test and where they currently live. That's interesting. Because I've been wondering maybe if I should go and have it redone, because my friend Amanda, who treated me to my test for my birthday about 5 or 6 years ago, she said that Ancestry.com reached out to her and gave her an update on her test.
I've gotten many updates.
So I may go ahead and just start all over again and see if anything,
My percentages slide around a little bit there's some slight variance there.
And I think it's so fascinating about Ancestry.com because some things pop up that you'd never guess. Like a friend of mine, she found out her father's not her father. And
yes, we found out. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, dear.
Well, no, that was it. And just, the things came out of the closet and she was like, whoa. And the person she thought was her father had passed away just shortly before that. And then she meets the other guy that's her dad. And I'm thinking her dad, her biological father and her, I guess, stepdad, it seemed like he was always the dad. They actually looked a little similar. And I thought, wow. And then I was like, your mother's passed also. And I kept thinking, boy, I would love to talk to her. What in the world happened there?
Yeah.
But yeah, different fathers.
Yep. My, sorry, Grandpa. So my grandfather, who is loved and adored, or was loved and adored by everybody in the family, and he still is, we found out through Ancestry that he had a child with a woman years before he met my grandmother. Nobody ever knew about it. I'm pretty sure, knowing him, that my grandma and him, I'm sure my grandma knew, and they just decided together that the past is the past, because things were handled differently back then. And I really do believe my grandma knew. And, you know, they just didn't talk about it, you know.
Yeah. You don't talk about
and
stuff
she got married and she had a husband for the child and just, you know, and it was a long time ago. And I mean, things are looked at differently now. But yeah, it was like, we never knew that.
I'm like, hey,
we
Grandma,
didn't know.
what were
It was
you
like,
up
what?
to?
It's like me, I was fascinated. I mean, I was kind of like, wow. My sister was devastated. So it's just kind of like how you know, everybody's different, you know. And we also found out some information we'd been trying to find out about on my dad's side of the family, a marriage that took place and whatever. And we actually were able to find some records about all this stuff. And yeah, it's very cool. So ancestry is very nice to have. All right, I'm signed in. So I'm 31% Spanish, 25% England and Northwestern Europe, Cleo, is what it says for me.
Yeah, okay. They can't narrow. Hopefully they can start narrowing it down a little bit.
Well, if you click on it, it does break it down.
Okay.
Oh.
It does go into further. So my 25% is Belgium, France, Germany. Stop it. All these things popping up. Luxembourg, Netherlands, Switzerland, Wales. So it's just, but I mean, that's not it, right. It's not saying, you know, it's not, it is still a bit vague, right? Which is fine for me, but 14% Irish, 7% Basque, 6% Wales, 6% Scotland, 5% France, Nigeria. 1%.
Okay.
Sweden and Denmark, 1%, Norway, 1%. So really all I care about is
we're all a Heinz 57.
Spain,
yeah, no kidding.
European and Irish. Yes, we thought we were more Spanish than what we were, you know, because my mom was 100% for sure. And, you know, but my dad was the mutt for sure. I mean, just so he brings all this other stuff. So very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And Michelle, I want to put this up here. Michelle and I were talking after the show the other night I did with her and Tanis, and she says, I tested highest for Uganda, but I'm so white I glow in the dark. I found out that they had a German port for hundreds of years in the part of Africa where she was. So that could be where they might have gotten that 1%.
So there's
it's really
just
hard.
Mixing of all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So it's not,
Hi, Leah. Thank you for joining us. This has been a really fun conversation. I was going to say, Steve put strawberry rhubarb, and Sharon Rue is here. Hello, Sharon. Thank you for joining us. We've been having some very interesting discussions about ancestry and past life readings. And I know Val has a deck that Doreen Virtue had put out before she left the community. And it has to do with past lives. And I'm thinking about getting that at some point because I am very fascinated with past lives. And last year or earlier, it was the beginning of the year or last year, Scott Allen, Spiritual Essence, gave me an Akashic reading on past lives. And I know Allyson got one as well. So some of that was really insightful and things to follow through. And I find past lives, Akashic readings, really fascinating. Cleo, have you ever had your Akashic, or do you already kind of know what your past lives have been?
I never looked at it. I've never looked at it. No, I don't have any idea what those kind of records would show. I mean, I shouldn't say I never looked at it. My brother and I have actually discussed it, and we think we have some connection to people like Nostradamus and things going on in Europe. But it doesn't, to me, it's fun and interesting. To him, it's more like he's going to really make this means something to him in this life right now. To me, it doesn't. It's just kind of a fun thing to talk about. So, Yeah, but I'm not that into it, but
Okay.
I'm just aware that there's definitely past lives, and that we're all affected from our past lives. That our soul carries all this data from all these thousands of past lives we've had, and that you can always tune into your soul and maybe gain some information from that.
Now, is there any form of divination or clairvoyance that you want to explore in the future, like doing? I know there's all types of I know we just talked about Akashic, but with channeling or doing the Ascended Masters or doing angelic reading, are you interested in
Oh yeah.
exploring any other? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely the ascending masters and channeling. And I mean, I guess that I do channeling as far as how I've understood it to be defined since I've been on YouTube. But to me, it just feels like communicating, just a conversation. It doesn't really feel like channeling, but I see everybody referring to all the messages they're getting from their spirit guides as channeling. And I just I have had other people tell me that I do channeling, and I'm like, well, no,
Yeah, me too. And for me,
I just talk to something, something's talking to me, and it's not. It doesn't feel. I don't know exactly what that means. So, but yes, I am curious and interested in all of that. So I'm going to be looking further into that.
Nick, and do you see the comment?
I did. One thing I wanted to say is, or just mention, this is slightly off subject from what Cleo was talking about when we were talking about ancestry, is that like when you're looking at my profile, and this kind of ties to what she was about to say, sort of, the comment that was just up there. So I'm 7% Basque. And then I also have French. And then Spanish is the most prevalent. So it's like, France and Spain, I mean, that's Basque, right? Or where Basque was. Or is that what it was called?
Yeah, I don't even know what Basque is. I have to look that up.
It's dissolved. It's gone. It was where France meets Spain.
Okay.
So, so very interesting. So it is closer to the 50%, because we come to find out, actually, I just got done saying my mom was 100% Spanish. She really wasn't. It was probably more like 85% or something like that, because although my mother's dead, her brother had he's still living. He just had his done a while ago, and it came back, and it was like primarily Spanish with some French, and so, they have the same parents. So it's just very interesting, all of that. So
I don't know
what is RH negative. I don't even know what that means.
I was going to ask. I'm not sure what the RH negative blood is. I don't know if that's supposed to be what they think is alien blood or alien DNA. I'm not sure if that's why that was up. I don't know, Patricia, if you can. I mean, I'm assuming, because I know that there are some shows on ancient aliens and with UFOs and the Anunnaki and all.
I know I'm not RH negative.
So
no, and it's funny that person brings up the blood types, because when I did ancestry.com and find out my heritage, it came about because my brother and I were discussing what blood types we were, and this was during the pandemic, and he said he was I believe he's O negative. Now a lot of people, O negative is supposedly more resistant to disease and things like that. And but then a lot of people are O positive. Well, I end up being O positive. He's O negative, and I'm just and he just holds on to that. What we were discussing at the time is, do we need the vaccine for COVID? And he thought he didn't, and I thought I didn't, but it had nothing to do with the blood types, but it did to him. But in the end, we both got all the vaccines and I'll get the next booster. But at the time, I was hesitant about it, and we got into this big, huge thing about blood types, and for some reason, it worked into this heritage thing. And finally, I just got a blood typing test kit. I think it was like $7 or $8 instead of going through like $100 through Ancestry. But yeah, I know some people are really into different, whatever their blood type is. It means something to them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. She said I just threw out a fun fact, so she doesn't know.
That
was interesting.
Actually, there's a ton of information about
well,
this.
now we're all getting blood types in the in the chat. See, this is what I love about Friday.
I don't remember mine.
You never know where the conversation's going to go, and as long as it's respectful and it's fun, it's interesting. I love the conversations that we have. This is what's fun about.
I think it's A negative though. I think
I have no idea what mine is.
I did know, but I don't remember. Because when I had my son, something about in the hospital, and they tell you all this stuff.
Yeah.
Zelda says, "Wow, Allyson, I too am 37 American, Mexican, 35 Spaniard, 9 Basque, 7 Portuguese." Oh wow,
Had Spaniard family.
Yeah, we were supposed to have that too in our family, and it didn't show up in our test. So, some of our families just really don't know because of having to hide
absolutely
different. Some people were ashamed to be a certain ethnicity, and so on records and stuff, they would change it. They wouldn't put that down, and so a lot of us tend to lose along the way. Growing up, what we were, and now because of these tests, we get to kind of have a better look at really, truly where our heritage and our lineage is from. And oh wow, look who's here, Serena. It has been a hot minute, my dear. How are you? Thanks for popping in and saying hello. Sorry, that was a blast from the past I haven't seen in a while. I'm sorry, Allyson. Were you going to say something?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, dear. Anything else, Cleo, you wanna to add, or do you ladies?
No, I've talked enough.
No, but that's what we like our guests on. I like, I make sure that our guests get to talk about themselves, share who they are, and what their goals are, what they want to do with their channel. So what do you plan for doing your channel? I know you said that you've got some videos where you want to talk about what's going on in the world. Anything more specific that you want, that you have an idea for, or anything?
Well, yeah, actually my channel is, although I'm calling it my channel, it's really my spirit guides channel, and it's being totally directed by my spirit guides, and they are telling me what to do, when to do it, what to talk about. They haven't told me everything of where we're going with it, but I've had that kind of connection for so long. I totally trust what I'm hearing, and I totally trust where they're taking me with it, because it's always been good and positive. And I'm hoping, if I'm able to do this right, but it'll be something that everybody can benefit from, because it's, it is coming directly from my spirit guides, and they're directing it. And
there's her link, everybody. Cleo doesn't have any videos up yet, but she's working, like she said, with her guides, going by what her guides are guiding. So if you go ahead and subscribe, you'll start seeing what Cleo has to offer to the community as soon as she starts.
I gotta get on it. I mean, but different things have come up, and of course this summer we got
oh my goodness,
involved with summer activities, so I wasn't inside as much. So anyway, it'll be happening.
Yeah, I love the fall season, because that's when things start to cool down, start to slow down a little bit. I get to enjoy the colors, because I'm an artist. I don't know if you know, but I'm an artist, and I love color. And for me, fall is just absolutely glorious. With all the changing of the leaves and the colors and whatnot, it's just absolutely, it's my favorite season. The purples and the yellows and the reds and the oranges, and I just love it. So it's usually like around February, March, April, when the snow just won't seem to go away. That's when I was like, okay, I had enough pretties for a while. Let's get into spring. It's just, summers can be hard. But
what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Western New York. I'm up in Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay.
I'm originally from the Buffalo area, Williamsville native, and then when my parents separated, I traveled all around the suburbs and things and stuff. And back in 2000 or 99, I moved to Massachusetts to save money. I lived with a friend. I worked a couple jobs. And then I went out to Flagstaff, Arizona, because I had been accepted through an exchange program in '93 through Buff State, with NAU, and I just fell in love with it. and that's where I met my Shan. I was there from 2001 to 98. Then moved to New Hampshire for a while. Not 98, 2001 to 2008. Moved to New Hampshire for a while. That fell through, and then we had to move here. And then, of course, 2008 hit with all the, the banks and things, and life was really hard for a couple of years. But so yeah, we ended up here up in the falls. But he's from Oregon, so we're hoping within a couple of years get on our feet, get our bills caught up, and save and head out to Ashland. I just absolutely love the looks of Ashland, with the parks and the art scene and the beautiful spiritual. And I love deer. And when they showed videos of deer just walking safely, through the town and whatnot, and I was just like, oh my God, so it's just one of those places, that calls to your heart. So, and Allison's been there. She knows what it looks like, and she's agreed that it's a beautiful place. So that's the dream,
Wow. Well, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So
So
Pacific
see.
Northwest is where you want to end up, but right now you're way on the East Coast.
Yeah. So at some point, I've been told to trust, trust spirit. I've
Yeah.
had some amazing readings recently, and they just said be patient, hang in there, hold tight, and things will work out. So that's what I'm doing.
Wow. Well,
I'm
that sounds
trusting.
great.
Yeah, I have rough days. Allison knows. I'll text her. Oh, Allison. She's like, it's okay, girl. Breathe, relax. But yeah. So okay, gotta go. Bye, Hilda. And strawberry rhubarb. I have deer on my porch. Oh, that's nice. That would be my dream, is to have a home, where I can have a backyard fenced in for some puppy dogs again, and also be able to have some wildlife coming in, and to me that's my dream. That's my bliss.
Okay.
Yes, Colorado is beautiful. It was, and we actually just read on a missing woman that's been missing. Sharon Rue and I, we read last week on a young lady. She was a self-described psychic medium, and she went missing in Crestone, Colorado, back in 2016. Her name is Crystal Reisinger, and Colorado's beautiful, but boy, this one town. So yeah, it was interesting. Colorado, that just brought up, the reading that we did. Um, yeah, autumn is beautiful. Everybody has, like in Flagstaff, people think Arizona it's all desert, but where I was, there was all four seasons. We didn't have like the reds and stuff like you see on the East Coast, but the aspens would turn this beautiful yellow. And so as soon as fall would hit, you would just see all yellow on the peaks, down by the bottom of the peaks and everything. Just, beautiful. Snow, summer monsoons and things. So, and then Sedona, I miss Sedona. I would like to go to Sedona again.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Sedona?
No, but I know that, I've got some friends that live in Arizona that just, they moved down there, I think, for retirement and stuff. But, the weather is, it's nice and warm all the time. And, there's just a lot of activity there that they love. And I don't know. I've lived in Washington my whole life, and I'll probably die in Washington because
you're still in Washington State.
Yeah, I'm in Seattle.
Okay, yeah.
And somebody just said that they were from Whidbey Island, and where the deer is wandering around, and that's absolutely true. That Whidbey Island over on the peninsula, all those areas over there are just so beautiful. And
yes, because Michelle's is in or around near Seattle, so she's a neighbor. That's astrological tarot. That's Michelle Marie. She does a live every week with Tanis Coughlin on Willow Lifestyle Community. They had me on as a guest the other day. So, and another Washington. Kari's in Washington. See, Shan's concerned about going back to the Pacific Northwest because of the fires and stuff, and Oregon but anything. We had a small earthquake here, last week. I mean, you just never know where you're going to be, where something can, happen. So,
Well, Washington's really a beautiful area because
is.
you've got the water, you've got the mountains, you got a lot of rain, but because you have a lot of rain, you got a lot of greenery. So it's very green, it's Seattle's the Emerald Cities.
And Sharon said, you're not far from me either. She's in the Gulf Islands, just north of San Juan Islands.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, and Serena's in Washington. Wow, Washington in the house tonight.
I guess so. Hey, you guys.
So, Allyson, are you shuffling for like a collective?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm just shuffling. Just because I'm shuffling. I'll probably be doing a reading actually here when I'm done with you guys.
Okay.
For my channel.
So I didn't know if you want to do a collective. I'm like, oh, maybe I should start.
We can. You guys want to do one real quick?
Actually,
I get going. I've got a phone date.
Okay. I need to get going here pretty quick, but and like I said, I don't do the cards too much. So go ahead. You want to do a collective reading in regards to
just a collective
message for the collective?
And I got
if you want, you can pull a card or.
Yeah, this is what we do for fun. We can do like a collective, and I got playfulness. So
it's a general message for the collective.
This coming weekend and week, just make sure that you tap into that little inner child and try to have more fun. This is Labor Day weekend for a lot of us. So so have fun, be safe, and enjoy family and. Remember, to thank, people who, with the labor unions and things for people to have fair pay and equal pay and all that good stuff. So, and on the bottom of the deck, magic. So howl at the moon if you feel like it. Enjoy the magic that nature has to offer. And Sonia, Flagstaff I saw when I was 17. Beautiful there. So Sonia, you've been there. Very nice. Go ahead, Allyson.
I just got balance. And this is about trying to come into balance if you're not. And I'm sure a lot of people are feeling a little, of course, when have we not in the last 3 years, 4 years, whatever, but about trying to find balance as much as you can. So like balancing your home life with your work life, with your love life, with your children, with all of that kind of stuff. The more in balance that we can be, the more grounded we are, the safer we feel, the happier we feel, all of that, right? Look at your diet. Look at how much you're drinking, how much you're getting outside, all of those kind of things, lowering your stress, but being in balance. And I think we all know this is key and it's very important. Without balance, you're out of balance, right? That's never the plan. To be out of balance, right? So anyways, that's what I got.
Thank you, my dear.
And I've got time to go and a change in direction. And what I get from that is we're ending summer, we're going into fall, and that definitely is a change in direction. And it's time to let go of what was ever going on for the last 3 or 4 months in summer. And I do have a good feeling about what we're coming into in fall and even in winter, but the changing of the seasons is it's a good time.
Yeah, it is. Hot chocolate coming up again.
Things happening.
Yes. Looking forward to the hot chocolates again. That'll be nice. My little treat. So ladies, thank you. Cleo, thank you for joining Allyson and I tonight. It was such a pleasure.
This is so much fun.
Yep, you're welcome back anytime.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
Just let me, me or Allyson know, and I'll set it all up. And everybody in chat, thank you for being here. I know some had to leave, so anybody watching back on playback again, thank you for being here, hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun as always. And really quick, Allyson, you just have your regular coming up. Any videos planned for the Labor Day weekend, or are you just going to just cruise?
Oh, I'll probably do a few. I don't know what. Yeah, but I'll be uploading a couple, I would think at least. I'm not sure what signs I'll be reading for. And then just my regular, just my regular lives that I do.
Are you guys doing the Mystic 4 Monday?
No,
I know we have one. What is that, Cleo, on the 11th?
Oh, and like every 2 weeks?
yeah, it's either on the 11th, I think, is caffeinated and unfiltered.
Caffeinated. Yeah, we're doing caffeinated, and then we have a Mystic. Is it the 17th?
I've got like the 18th for Mystic 4, but
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure you're right.
wow.
I'm just not looking at my calendar.
I'm
Okay.
surprised it's that far out. I'm surprised we don't have something sooner coming up, but maybe
Mhm.
we will. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And you can check those shows. Gerald usually hosts them. They're wonderful. Val, Gerald, Allyson, and Cleo are the Mystic Four, and uncaffeinated and or caffeinated and unfiltered is Gerald with Allyson,
Various
Deb
people.
H, yeah, Angela, various people.
Yeah.
Cleo's going to be a guest, so stay tuned. They're always fun. Very blunt shows, and they can be very hysterical. Quite the comedy. So I know Allison's got
Gerald's awesome.
Yeah.
A phone date she's got to go to. So everybody, thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you on one of our channels or our lives. Have a great weekend. Be safe.
Bye everybody.